Hello, Sims 4 fans and fellow Simmers. This is MJ, and today I want to talk about the Sims 4's latest reveal trailer for their brand new expansion pack coming out. It's called Royalty and Legacy, and everybody's been doing their own reactions and reviews on this trailer, and I just wanted to chip in and share my thoughts as well. So, yeah, I'm assuming you guys have already watched it already. So I am going to play the clip and then I'm going to scrub back through and we're going to pause on each clip, and then I'll share my thoughts on what's going on and my expectations. So first off, before I press play, let's get into the cover art because it's looking really good, and immediately this queen right here stands out to me because of course the hair alone, the influence, the African influence that's just showing right now. I know a lot of simmers are going to be happy because this is something that they've wanted for so long within the community and that they've been speaking on, especially on Twitter. Like I remember being on Twitter a few years ago, and it's never ending of people who've been wanting an African world, an expansion pack that features that, and now we finally get it. So shout out to the Sims team for finally making it happen. And yeah, let's dive deep into this. So let's see what more unravels and what more comes with the pack. So like I said, I'm going to play it through and we're going to talk lightly about what's going on, and then we're going to, go back, pause, and do deep dives. Oop. Okay, so clearly it's starting. We have this grand ballroom, and we're introduced to a princess. We get a new family tree is what it looks like. We can dub a noble. There's an enchanted mirror, which I love. I love a little whimsical in my game. I love playing realistically, but I also love a little whimsy. That's cool. You get to actually crown them too. I'm glad if we can crown them, we can actually see it. It's not a rabbit hole. Okay, we got the return of a family from The Sims 2. So a lot of old timers, fellow simmers will love this. We get a prestige system, which also to me looks like the system from Get Famous, where instead of its reputation for an individual, it looks like it's the reputation for the whole family. We'll dissect that more. We can outcast a sim. And then we have this beautiful princess who is, to me immediately, I knew right off the bat that's Princess Cordelia, which we'll talk more about her because there's so much attached to her, especially with her lore being in the game for so long. I wonder will we actually get pirates? That's what I want to know. Scandal, the new Scandal system. Check out the furniture, y'all. Like, it's storybook and it's Rococo. Love that. And then everybody gets alerted. Yeah, so there's so much going on right now. And just like that, back to our normal ball. So that's pretty cool. All right, so we saw quite a bit there. Let's actually take it back and actually scroll through here. Actually, let me pause the music. Let's actually dissect what's going on here. So, as you can see, we get new cast, new jewelry. Love that. New staircase, because as you can see, like those edges are rounded. We're going to have a new dance. And I'm going to pause here because I want to talk about this and what this means. The representation that we're getting, as far as like, the African representation, I did read the article that's attached to it. Well, I skimmed it a bit. I've watched other reviews, so I know a little bit more. But there was a collaboration going on between fellow simmers and builders, and as well as an African gaming group to help bring all of this into fruition. So anyway, I love that we have new stuff going on. So but what I know so far is that we have 3 new regions in a kingdom all of its own, and each region has its own royal bloodline. So here is one of the, what should I say, leader. I'm not sure if they're using kings and queens in this pack, but what I can say is that she looks to be a princess, part of the Durong dynasty. So she represents our African influence in this pack. And please check out the cast. I'm so excited about that. So we'll talk more about the cats. Hold on. There's a little bit more to go on here. So in that screenshot alone, I love how the Sims team does this, because they show us so much in so little time. But first off, I didn't even mention this. So we get updated family trees. Here, because it relates to royalty, it's called a dynasty. And the dynasty is who rules the region. So it looks like we have these special symbols on each family member in the dynasty. And I'm assuming these mean that these Sims were selected to be heirs to the throne. And then oh my gosh, the cute little outfit. I have to go back. I love the printing on that. And if you didn't know, we did get a base game update a few months ago that included new cast outfits with more African prints on there. And we also got more clutter too, so I like that. I keep going past this. Oh my gosh. I just wanted to show off a little bit of the cast that's going on here. So not only do we get more formal wear, but we have this African influence as well. So obviously all the African simmers are going to love that. And then those who just love representation in the game are going to love that. And as a fellow black simmer, I just love seeing more Afro textures as well. And just, more clothing options, more influence, and the fact that we get, look at how big these earrings are. I love these. Like, I buy earrings like this. I just think that is stunning. But yeah, I'm loving the curls and the kinks and the braids of what I'm seeing. So this is really dope. Next thing I see is this mirror. So I did, like I said, read the article that's attached to this trailer. And there are a couple of things. I think they're called power shifts. So there are certain things within the pack that are nods to very common fairy tale stories. One of them being the enchanted mirror. Another one being the sword and the stone, another one being glass slippers. You all know the stories. We'll probably spot some more, but as you can see, she has been crowned, and I love that we can do that. Now this is a callback to the Capp family. So I've never played with The Sims 2 Veronaville. When I got started on The Sims 2, it was back in the day on console. So the console versions were very different than what's on PC. I can tell you that for sure. So my gaming experience with The Sims was different than what other Simmers would get on actual PC. But there are a lot of people who swear by this and how great the lore was and the story. So I love that for my fellow Simmers. And just as someone who just loves The Sims, playing the game, like, I love that I'll watch other channels. I'll watch Gons or Plumbella, and I love how they go into lore and all of that. So that's how I learned about this. But yeah, now we get a return of the cats from Veronaville. So I think that's really cool, and we'll get to see how their story plays out. Where does Romeo and Juliet Capp fall into this gameplay? Are both of them included? Are they deceased already and these are descendants? We don't know. But I am excited to see what exactly is included when we do get the actual pack. I won't know until the game changers show off their videos, so I can't wait for that. And yeah, let's look into that. It looks like his emblem was scribbled, so it looks like he is automatically the outcast of the group. And there's something called unity and prestige. So what I'm getting at is within each dynasty, we have this prestige system, which looks to me like it works like get famous. So this technically is reputation on your family name. So I'm assuming that depending on the values that you have, again, like I'm gonna scroll back through because I was talking quite a bit, but according to this dynasty, the Capp dynasty, we have these little pop-ups right here. So I figured the Sims team would only put this in the trailer if it actually meant something or played a role to, the mechanic. So I'm assuming these values pertain to this dynasty and what it is that they value. And it looks like, as I was watching throughout the trailer, this guy didn't have much unity with those values, I'm assuming. He's constantly arguing. There's the prestige meter, which I talked about, and it says artistic. So this, I'm assuming, she enjoyed and he didn't because he booed it. And then here she's over here being diplomatic because she's mingling, she's talking. And then here he is not talking to anyone, over here burping, not having manners. So I'm assuming your reputation has to deal with how you're being seen, or how you make the family be seen overall by what it is you're doing. So she was good at swordsmanship and he was not, and overall he just wasn't a good fit for the throne. Looks like he got outcasted. Next we have this cutie patootie, Miss, what do you call her? I forgot already because I'm looking at so much stuff. Miss Princess Cordelia. That is her name. So Princess Cordelia Thebe. So she has so much lore within The Sims 4. And by lore, I'm talking about everything that's included in the base game. If you go to build by, if you did not know this already, if you're new to The Sims, I'm not sure how long you've been a Simmer, but for all of us who've been playing for years now, we know that there's narrative and story within the objects and build by. So some of them, it'd just be mess. It'd be just the Sims team just sharing a bunch of jokes. But in other items, there's actual story tied to it. And a lot of the Sims 4 base game stuff has a story related to this woman called Princess Cordelia. Now, there's so much stuff about her and her story of her secret lovers and her thrill for pirates in the sea and her craftsmanship. It's almost as if they intended for her to be an actual playable character, but she was never included in the base game. And I'm not sure if the base game had any, intention of including her. And it's not like our worlds were pirate or sea themed anyway. So that was very interesting. I mean, I did hear something about Windenburg was supposed to be a part of the base game. And Windenburg does give me vibes that it would include a castle and whatnot. And I can definitely picture running a kingdom there and a dynasty. That makes a lot of sense. So who knows? But we finally actually get her in the game. So I love that. And it looks that they started her off as a young adult. We'll get to see her actually, play out these events that we've read about. And then it's funny, they put a pirate here because in her lore, she has a thing for pirates. So how interesting. And then I also read about the trapdoor. So supposedly these things are around town. I'm looking at a clock right now that's working as a secret passageway. Now, I'm not sure if the secret passageways come as anything other than a clock. It would be cool if they did. But at least we know that we could put these things in ballrooms and palaces and sort of, get from place to place like that. So I think that's pretty cool. And we get this new scandal system. So I don't know if this is going to work like snooping with the for rent pack, or if it's going to work like the clue system that comes with Get to Work, the detective career. I'm not sure, but it looks to me, if I had to guess, depending on what you do, nobody knows about it. Like your actions, like it makes me think of milestones and how there's so much cross pack compatibility with milestones. So the milestones came with growing together, and you had basically had the ability to experience certain things throughout life. So experience a fire, or get hit by Miss Crumple Bottom, or pee on yourself in public. Those were things that happened to you as milestones. And you know even climbing a mountain in Mount Kamarabi would count as a milestone. So I wonder if here, because it's cross pack compatible, depending on what you do, these scandals can be uncovered, like even if you've done them already. So like if you cheated on a spouse and nobody is around, that's one thing. But if somebody were to find out your secret, and then that comes to the light, now it pops up in your journal, and you can have 7 days to either lie about it, or deny it, or just hope that it all goes away on its own. I'm looking forward to how this kind of shows it. It seems to be like a big part of the pack. So we'll see how that works when they show us the gameplay trailer in a few days. But anyway, also, I love that this trailer is so cinematic, and we get to see how the maid is experiencing it. That's so TV show coded, dramatic. So yeah, she just came up to her and just like, I saw what you did. You think you're slick. I saw what you did. And then she told everybody, oh, can we just stop and just embrace everything that's going on here? So, one, check out the looks. This is so dope. So even, I have to say this because I love all this royalty stuff. Even if you're someone who's not a fan of playing in a kingdom or with royalty, you can't deny all the goodies that you get. Like this scandal system would work whether you're living in a kingdom or not. This cast will work. This build buy will work if you're in Del Sol Valley and you just live in a big giant mansion, if you're just for that style. But the formal wear is so versatile. Like I can definitely see this for other events and galas and formal wear, proms, quinceañeras, weddings. We do have banquet, what is it called? Charity events that happen with Get Famous. So, and then there's all of the formal events that happen, the tea gathering, with my wedding stuff. So there's so much, and I'm loving this. I love this outfit, and I love that this is beautiful and this is formal. But I've seen women wear this on a day-to-day basis, so it doesn't even have to be for a royal ball. You could just use this for any of your everyday today gameplay storylines. So I love this, and it looks so beautiful. And the Sims team did a good job with this cast. It's gorgeous. But anyway, they just got alerted on their phones. So I love that. I wonder will we see an interaction pop up above their heads if they've been alerted. That would be cool. But as you can see, there's a lot going on here. So I'm going to go back. So we're used to this. People, causing a scene. Swordsman fight, that's going to be new. But this right here. So just like we saw the enchanted mirror earlier, I did mention we were going to have some sort of ability with glass slippers. Here we see this lady kissing a frog. Now, I'm not sure how the gameplay will go with this, because if you kiss this frog, will you get a royal partner that pops up? And then you'll be able to like, oh, you're automatically married? Or can this backfire on you? Because that sounds sim coded as well. Like, oh, you thought you were getting a rich, you got a commoner instead, and in fact they stole your money. That would be pretty funny. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how this will work out, but I do think that'll be very fun for gameplay. And I don't want to skip out on this person in the back. So if you don't know, when it comes to fairy tales and kingdoms, there's an old fairy tale called Robin Hood, in which they are known as a thief who stole from the rich and gave to the poor. So I wonder if we're going to be able to catch this person throughout a certain region and then do quests with them, or are we supposed to like catch them? I'm not sure, but I am intrigued because I do know this fairy tale, so I would love to know more about the gameplay related to that. And check this out. Check out this bar cart. This is beautiful. I think I've tried to make this. We sort of have something similar with vintage glamour stuff, but it's not stocked or anything. It's just a table. But this is gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's curved. So I'm assuming that this is functional. And because we have, nectar in the game, aka wine, I'm assuming we'll get drinks from there. I'm not sure, or if it'll actually work as a bar. I don't know, but I do like it. And then check this out. Isn't she just the flyest elder you've ever seen? This is just gorgeous. I got somebody in my save file right now who I feel like this would be perfect for. And then we got Bob over here. Oh, and somebody going past. But anyway, Bob is eating a plate of fufu. So I've seen this meal many of times. I've never tried it in real life, but I've seen plenty of videos on social media of other people trying it, doing mukbangs and cooking it, and I just wonder what it tastes like, because it looked like it tastes good. And if you are somebody who's had it before, I would love for you to tell me in the comments, what can I compare this to, because I would love to try it, because there's not anywhere I know of right here in my neighborhood that actually sells this plate. So yeah, let me know what this can be compared to, because it looked like mashed potatoes, but I'm sure it don't taste like mashed potatoes, so I want to know. Anyway, let's go on. They look good. Robin Hood in the back and just disappears. And then, so that is the trailer. So y'all, it looks good to me. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm loving the representation. Obviously this looks beautiful. It looks like our African inspired region, which is giving a little bit of Egypt, if you ask me. It's beautiful and it's very desert-esque. It also reminds me of we got this one kit some time ago. What was it called? It was a kit that would be perfect for this. Was it something Oasis kit? Ooh, I can't think of it, but I'm pretty sure if you heard the word Oasis, then you know what I'm talking about. In which I feel like that would be perfect for this. But yeah, so I'm actually on the webpage that's linked underneath the trailer on the YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube, you'll notice that there's a link there underneath the official trailer, and you'll be able to redirect yourself to learn more about what's included. So I'm not going to go over much here, but I'll just share a little bit more of what I know from what I read. So again, there's the new world that we get. It is a kingdom of 3 different regions. So the world is called Ondarian, and we have 3 different regions ruled by 3 different royal bloodlines. Those bloodlines are referred to as dynasties. So we have Dambele, which is our African influenced world, Vertimer and Bellecourt. Now here I cannot tell which is which because they look kind of similar to me, but you can assume that one is ruled by Princess Cordelia and then the other is ruled by the Capps. So I think there are certain activities within each world, because I was reading about it earlier. There's a backroom lot, I believe, in our Dambele. Hopefully I'm not butchering this name. But the backroom lot is a special lot that comes to this new expansion. And it's just a lot type in which the lot changes from... It changes its function between day and night. So it's an everyday, just regular smegular venue by day. And then at nighttime, it's a nightclub. So... that'll be interesting to see how this works. And I've never been to Africa, especially this region. Like, I haven't even seen, because I've seen footage. I know, like, modern day buildings, which everyone has modern day buildings, but this right here, I wonder what nightclubs look in this style of architecture. I would love to know, what it looks like. And yeah, I think that would be fascinating. But yeah, we also talked about power shifts. So I was talking about those nods to older fairy tales. So the ballroom slippers, the frog, the enchanted mirror, the sword and the stone, all that stuff will somehow be considered a power shift. So I think if you interact with those objects, that can have an influence on possibly your dynasty's prestige and how they're seen. I don't know. They'll have to explain more in the gameplay trailer. We also get swordsmanship, which is not only just an activity, but it is actually a new skill that's going to be added. So you can raise it up and get better at swordsmanship, and then you can also enter tournaments. So I'm assuming we're going to be able to win some money. I'm hoping that you can also, win some cool stuff besides money. Like, I would hope for, I don't know, a new collectible item, or just I love when they add tidbits that's just brand new and you just want it, like something functional or something cool or something secretive. I think that will be really fun. We talked a little bit about the secret passageways. So they said this could work in a courtyard, hallway, or a study. So we saw a clock, and clocks will definitely work in a hallway or a study. Now courtyard, that's something else. So I wouldn't put a clock in a courtyard, so I wonder if there's another object that works as the secret passageway. And then here we have some more screenshots of actual gameplay. So it looks here like we got different styles of crowns is immediately what I'm seeing. I love seeing this little girl in this little dress. I think that's so cute. The thrones look beautiful as well. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's some influence from other packs here, or that they were made in parallel. So like the storybook nursery kit came out, and so did the life and death pack. And I say this because this chair has a similar framework. And I think, see, whenever the Sims team does this, it makes me think like there's a lot of cross pack play that's gonna happen with life and death because of it, especially with the bucket list. We'll see. We'll have to see how that goes. But I think we're getting a new staircase, and somehow we're going to have carpeted staircases and curved ends. So I'm also interested in that. Look like we got these brand new archways with doors attached to them. Beautiful. And this dress is just gorgeous. We're going to have gorgeous stuff. And look at this guy. Look at his outfit. So again, I've said this, but I can totally picture a kingdom in Windenburg, and I've always wanted to do that. I haven't got to it yet. I do have the Castle Estate kit. I feel like the Castle Estate kit mixed with vintage glamour, having a butler, having the wishing well from the romantic garden stuff, as well as there's just so much you can do to like run a kingdom and have a kingdom. I feel like the Getaways pack with Adventure Awaits will also work in our favor if you just wanted to like visit a kingdom and not necessarily live there or run it. I think that would be cool. But yeah, this is nice. This is the pulling of the sword out the stone, that King Arthur fairy tale. So I love this. Not only do we get that, we also get this noble career. So the noble career is a new career that's coming, where I'm assuming this is an active career, because it said you get to advance through the rankings, similar to like a skill tree. And I know we have something similar to that with businesses and hobbies. So we have our standard skill trees as it pertains to our supernatural occults, but in other packs in which there's a skill tree, I believe it's get famous, and then most recently it's been with the businesses and hobbies. So I'm assuming with the rankings, you can earn favor and you'll rank up. It says you can forge an alliance. Now that's interesting. Earn favor at court. So I'm assuming if you earn more favor, is that what makes you rank up? Pursue bolder paths through clever schemes. So you can have schemes and strategic marriages. So your marriage will affect your ranking. Oh, that's interesting. Your sim spouse and children inherit those titles too. Wow. This takes me back to when I was watching Queen Charlotte. There's a episode that is related to one of the queen's ladies. She had a husband who passed away, and she was wondering if her husband's title passed down to her child, and it was such a big issue in that episode. It was so dramatic, but now we can tell stories like that in this pack too. That's gonna be so cool, because there's gonna be people who have watched Bridgerton or watched Queen Charlotte, or I haven't seen Game of Thrones. Other people have watched Game of Thrones. There's so much like excitement that I've seen, especially on TikTok, related to so far what we've seen or know about the pack, about people getting excited to just behead other people and just act out the parts and play out their royal bloodlines. But yeah, we're going to be collecting favor, y'all. And then we're going to be dueling people. And then in this career as well, we're going to have royal duties. Now, royal duties is something that I'm assuming is similar to the Ferent pack in the way that it functions. So I'm assuming there's activities that you'll have to do each day, right? No different than a doctor career or what's the other career? Detective career. You have things to do. Now, why I said it makes me think of Ferent, because I'm assuming if you're part of a dynasty, a royal bloodline, you should already have royal duties just based off of being royal, especially if you're a designated heir already. So I wouldn't think a career is required for those duties. But if you're not a part of the royal bloodline, if you wanted to partake in that, I'm guessing you have the option to join the career so that you can. So that's why I said it reminded me of Ferent, because in Ferent, with the residential rentals, you have just already baked in gameplay of events that pop up that cause trouble for you while you're living in a residential rental. But if you didn't want to live in a residential rental, you could still have those cool events that pop up and happen by choice if you select it as an option through build mode for your everyday residential lot. So this seems to be optional if you don't want to do royal duties or not. I'm assuming if you're not a royal bloodline, but if you are a royal bloodline, like I said, you could probably step out because I think it says more here. So there's the dynasty system. You can designate it here. So if you are playing as a king and you want to designate to your daughter, I'm assuming they will have royal duties, and then they will have their coronation and then be crowned. And then you can have an outcast who is, I guess, marked as the family outcast. And then usurp. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering this word. I've not used this before. But I'm assuming that just means I can just resignate whenever I feel like it if I don't want to be queen or king anymore. And then expel, that's pretty obvious if we just don't want the sim in the family bloodline anymore. Or if we want to tell the story of, I don't know, a vampire gone rogue in the royal bloodline, I don't know. But yeah, seems like these can play a role in the scandals that happen as well. So again, it gives a little more about our scandal system. It does say that you can issue a public apology, deny the accusation, or write a book about it and earn some profits. I think that would be pretty cool. So it says we can extort rivals, fracture alliances, and climb the ladder. and even NPCs can seek atonement and ask for a pardon. Not sure what that means, but it sounds juicy and it sounds like it will be very entertaining for us players to just interact with. And like I said, there were simmers who were involved in helping with the creation of this pack and some of the systems. So excited about that. I see quite a few. I don't know all of them, but I definitely see quite a few. Go to Spring Sim's video because he shouts out everyone who's involved. I see they didn't mention any names specifically for the simmers in this picture. I wish they would have. They did include some of the builders who worked on this build for the pack. So Plumbob Kingdom was involved, Eva Rocky, Emerald Story, Studio Gabri, Ice Maman, and Light Bobub also created some dishes, so that's really cool. But yeah, they didn't put our simmers, but they did mention there's an African gaming group that helped collab on these concepts. But yeah, this is so cool. I love this. Again, go watch Spring Sim's video because his was the first one that I watched. It's already up and I think it's titled "I Helped Make This" or something like that. It was such a cool video to see. And yeah, they also end off on the free stuff that comes. So we get not only our digital content. So usually we get about 3 things as freebies as part of digital content if you buy the pack within a certain amount of time. But this is the first time in which they're giving out 2 new kits. And they're not trash kits either. First of all, I don't know where SpongeBob came from. I don't know who the target audience is for that. I'm not crapping on who came up with that idea, but I'm just wondering who was that for? I don't know. Anyway, these kits look awesome. I've checked them out. So we get the silver screen kit, which looks like it's influenced by early Hollywood style. And I love it. There's quite a few Sims in my save file that I think would be perfect for this. I have quite a few bougie Sims in my save. Or if you just, you have a powerhouse couple or just a no nonsense business Sim, these are perfect for that. I love this. And if you're just looking for more formal attire or just those that are more what do I call it, I just love these academics or historians. These would be perfect for that. And then we have a what is this called, tea time solarium kit. So you can have tea time what looks to be in a greenhouse. I like the idea of this too. So it looks like you get a tea tray that's similar. I'm hoping that it works like the tea trays that came with My Wedding Stories. Because not only do you get to serve the tea, one, you have to steep it and then you serve it. And then you can actually have you can pass out the tea and it's like a special moment between Sims interacting. I like that. I want to say that even with My Wedding Stories, you had the actual tea gathering as an event. So I'm not sure if it'll be included in this, but I don't see why not. And then plus you get all this cute little clutter item with it. So I think this is cute. This is going to be something cute for actual patio if you're not going to use it for a solarium. And then is that a buffet table? Oh, that's interesting. Because I'm not sure if there's a buffet table, but if it is, I'm going to lose my mind. But anyway, I want this pack. Even if it's not a buffet table, it's nice to have a party and just, throw stuff on the table. Also, I want to talk about this because this is a tray and it has goodies on it. A treats tray. And it's tiered and it's cute. Now, I think just from assumption, we'll be able to grab cupcakes off of this tray because it looks functional to me. We already have cupcakes in the game. Yeah, so I think they made it part of base game. And I don't see why we wouldn't be able to get that interaction. We can grab things from lunch boxes, and with the kitchen clutter kit, we're able to grab things from little lunch trays. So I'm gonna assume we can grab cupcakes off of this tray. So all this is looking very nice to me, and I think this is really cool. Is this Dina? No, Katrina? She got invited? No, maybe just a random sim. I'm like, I see some sims townies in here, but this one does not look familiar, and I don't know this one either. So, but yeah, I think these are cool. These are really awesome kits, and they're free. We don't have to pay a thing as long as we get the pack. We don't have to pay a thing. So this was really cool. And that's it. That is it, guys. So yeah, that was a lot to take in, and I actually enjoyed it. So if you are someone that's looking forward to the pack, I want to know. I want to know your thoughts. And if you have any specifics that you are looking forward to doing or testing out for the pack, or when you get your hands on the pack, please let me know, because let's be fellow simmers and share our excitement. I love when the simmers come together and we all get excited about stuff all together, because it's so fun to me. That's part of why I love being a part of the community. So yeah, share what you're excited about. If there's anything in the video that caught your attention and which you want to share your opinion of, please comment down below in the comments. And that is it for this video. So thank you guys for watching and for spending your quality time here on Plum Bob Diaries with MJ. And check out my channel for more content, either related to reviews or my builds, of course. I do have a Let's Play coming to the channel, so stay tuned for that. And until next time, thank you guys for stopping by. Goodbye.